Hi, I've got a lovely blue and white with a little bit of black on it, bit of layering, and I'm going to show you a fun way to create this border. So I'll introduce you to the dies we'll be using. There's quite a few in this card. I've got the Petite butterflies as a little accent on our card. We're also going to be using the curly fern, which looks really nice with the flowers. The center of our, what we'll seat our sentiment on is just coming from the Phoebe die there. Going to do a bit with the focal element. I've used Lexi. The Starlight daisy is going to be our floral element on the card. The sentiment I have used is from the Isobel set. It's the thanks here. And this is the squared squares. It's one of our noble dies. Now I'm going to show you how to make a border out of these. Okay. Pop all these to the side. Okay, so now I've already gone ahead and cut the squared squares. And what you need to do is just bring in a paper cutter. And you can take any of these edges. In fact, let's do it this way here. Right along there. And you can cut your little squares apart and give yourself a nice little border. Okay, so I've got one I've actually cut earlier. So I'm just going to pop that down the other side. I'm going to use a little bit of spray glue. There we go. And it's going to be a little bit larger than the actual card, so we'll trim it. Lean in and get that nice and straight. That looks pretty good. So if you want to do a larger size card, you could use the bigger sizes in the set. And pop that down. I'll give you a quick measurement when I get that done. There we go. So the background size we're using here is 7.5 inches by 6 inches. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put that into place onto my backing. And because I've used blue dusk and black card in the actual body of the card, I've gone ahead and put those into my mats and layers. And I've got my white paper pierced matte layer on top. Oops, let's try that again. There we go. Pop that one down. There we go. I'll give you an overall measurement on the card as well while I'm thinking of it. That one is 8 7/8 by just a hair under 7.5. Okay, so that's going to be the base of the card. So the next thing I've done is I've used one of the square squares to create a frame around this, and I've cut the Lexi in the center of that. So now what I want to do is shadow that. Now, rather than using spray glue on the back of this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and use some Cosmic Shimmer glue just around here. And just around the edge here, see if I can get that in close, and some of the little spots in between. There we go. We're going to offset that, and it's just going to give a really pretty little shadow behind it. Okay, so it's a little tricky. We're going to line this up, just barely offsetting it. So let me just get it down low enough I can see it. And pop that down into place. And you can kind of move it around a little bit if you need to, but I think that's a nice shadow. Now that will become a little more evident when we put the backing on. So I've got some blue dusk card here, and I think to do that, what I'm going to do is just pop some spray glue on the back and then add some Cosmic glue. There we go. That should fit in there really nice. I'm going to add a bit of mounting foam to raise that. We'll put a couple pieces down the middle here. Let's see, that should work. And we'll pop those right into the center. There we go. Okay, now I've gone ahead and cut the center of the Lexi out in white, so we're going to just offset that. I think I'll just use a little Cosmic glue on the very middle of that and offset that So you'll see a little bit of the black coming through and a little bit of the white right there. Okay, the center from the Phoebe die was cut out of white. I'm going to raise that up with a little bit of mounting foam, and that's just going to pop right across the middle of that. And our thanks will seed across that. So a little bit of spray glue and some Cosmic on the back. And that's a fairly wide font, so it's quite easy to put a little extra glue on this one. There we go. It's nice and wide, so it's easy. It's a very bold sentiment. Pop that on there. That's nice. So now what we want to do is add a bit of a floral element. So I've got some pieces here. I've got two of the larger and two of the smallers. So what I'm going to do is just give these a quick fold. Pinch them so they've got a little bit of dimension to them. So I'm folding over one petal into the next one and just pinching that little piece between them so I can roll them around my finger a little bit, and it just gives them a bit of dimension. We'll put some glue in that and let that set up, and I'm going to do the same thing to the larger one. Give it a little pinch, and because it's quite a detailed die cut out, you just want to just line them up and just literally pinch it, and that'll give you the movement you need with it. There we go. Pinch those upward in the middle, so you've got something with a little bit more dimension there as well. Some glue, and I'm going to offset the two smaller ones. And give that a second to set up, and offset the two larger ones. There we go. So you've got what looks like a really nice full flower there. Once you've got them glued together, you can do a little more of your dimension on it too. Okay, so now we can put those into place. I've got glue dots. Use a couple of those. I'm going to pop that large one right about there, and I'm going to put a little white satin bow under it too. Just tip that right on the corner there, so it'll just sort of hang out from underneath there. Got the little guy. This one can seat right about here. There we go. And some of the curly ferns. So I'm going to bring these back in. And a little bit of scissors. We can trim them down a tiny bit if we like. Add some glue. I'm going to do the same with this one. Just trim it down ever so slightly. Put that underneath that edge. Underneath that edge. And I've got just what I call like the top head of the curly fern right there, and I'm going to put that right in the corner underneath the bow. There we go. So I've got a really pretty floral element. And because I've got the nice flowers there, I've decided to add a couple of butterflies. So I'm going to bring over a piece of copy paper and put that underneath there. I've got a little bit of sticky adhesive sheet onto some blue Dusk card, and then I cut the butterflies out of them. I'm just going to peel that backing off. Let me take a second here. Get that one. And then do this one. There we go. And the way I find this easier to do, set them down and bring in some little teeny pearls here. And I'm going to put a couple right down the middle before I even glitter them. Oops. There we go. Yeah, we'll do 3 on each of these. You can do 3, 4, 5, whatever you prefer. There we go. That way you know those are going to stay on there even with the glitter. And bring in our Frosted Sparkle Glitterbitz. Give that a little tap over those. Oop, this one's upside down. There we go. There we go. Tip the excess back in. And we've got some really, really pretty little glittered butterflies. Now what I want to do is just put some glue on their bodies, leaving their wings free. There we go. Give them a little bit of a fold. And we're going to pop them into place in this corner. About like that. And those wings can come upright for a little bit of movement. And there you have it. Really lovely card, all layered up, some beautiful colors, just to say thanks.